We just finished up the last Bucs training camp practice. And thankfully, the guys were able to get in a full practice today because I just checked outside and there is a torrential downpour out there. And that's really been the story throughout camp this year. Thankfully, though, it didn't impact things today. But what a way for the defense to end things on a high note for camp. You had a number of guys getting their hands on balls this year. Major Wright actually did it twice in practice today. He picked off Jameis Winston during the 2-minute drill at the end of practice, and he also picked off Seth Lobato. And then on the very last play of practice, also during the 2-minute drill, you had Danny Lansana jumping a route and picking off Mike Glennon. So certainly a victory for the defense there, but offensively, they did some good things as well. You really saw Vincent Jackson once again showing that his relationship with Jameis Winston continues to grow. And I also think, too, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, he's a guy that told me at the end of last season he was not at all happy with the way he performed, said it wasn't acceptable. He really went out there, and I'll tell you what, he's really taking control of the middle of the field there. So he's certainly one to watch. I'd also say this, Robert Huron had a really big one-handed catch to open up practice today. That was huge, and he's a guy that's really improved a lot between last year and this year. So he's one to watch. They certainly could use his speed as well, but they have so much competition at the receiver position. Of course, you have Vincent Jackson. You have Mike Evans. You also have, too, Louis Murphy, a guy who really showed up in this first preseason game, despite only having 4 days of working with Jameis Winston. Then you have Kenny Bell. Then you have Kalen Clay. Then you have Huron from last year. And then you have guys like undrafted free agent Rennell Hall, who had a big catch today, too. So tons of competition there. Now, a number of guys were not practicing today, and likely that means they're not going to be out there. That's not so good for the pass rush, as Jacquez Smith sat out, and so did TJ Fatinikin. So no idea who's going to start opposite George Johnson there, but the team's not going to have a lot of their pass rushers. Still haven't seen Chris Conte out there. He's missed just about all of camp because of a hamstring injury. Other guys that weren't practicing, Ori Lemon, a backup linebacker and a core special teams performer, he wasn't out there either. And we also saw Kevin Pamphile. He was limited too in practice, did a little bit of work, but not a lot, and Josh Allen. Now, a few items to note. First of all, Quan Alexander is practicing at that middle linebacker position, and Danny Lansana and Bruce Carter are now battling it out for that strong side position, with Lansana getting the reps with the first team defense and Carter getting reps with the second. I asked Lovie Smith about that after practice, and he said that, you know what, Carter is a lot more comfortable being on the outside. That's where he played in Dallas. That's where they're going to have him go now. So curious to see how that battle plays out. Both those guys actually finished 1 and 2 last year in interceptions among linebackers in the league, so that'll be a fun battle to watch. Also, too, Gosder Chirillis. Everybody's wondering if he's going to be starting on Monday night. He did come here in pretty good shape, but Lovie Smith said not quite in football shape, so he's not going to start on Monday night. They are going to give him some reps, though, as to who's going to take his spot. Because he has been practicing with the ones, well, it's likely going to be Reed Fragel. Now, the topic that everybody's been talking about, and that is Lovie Smith taking over defensive play calling duties. A report surfaced a few days ago saying that he was going to be taking that job from Leslie Frazier. While Frazier's still on the staff, of course, but Lovie Smith was going to be the one making those calls. We asked him about that at practice, didn't say a whole lot other than the fact that circumstances last year really didn't allow for him to be as involved in the defense as he's wanted to be. He said that throughout his coaching tenure, he's always been very involved with the defense. But again, because of the situation with Jeff Tedford, really wasn't able to. This year, though, with a guy like Dirk Cutter, who's called plenty of plays in the NFL, he's able to do so this year, but also, too, given the circumstances that they have struggled on defense, it's something that he needs to do. But the big question for me is going to be where Leslie Frazier is going to be on Monday night. Is he going to be on the sideline, or is he going to be up in the booth, which is where he moved up to last year? Now, the Bucs will be playing the Bengals on Monday night. That's Monday Night Football. You'll be able to catch it on ESPN. Be sure to check out our coverage on sportstalkflorida.com. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. With Sports Talk Florida, I'm Jenna Lane.